What is going on, Niner fans? We are going to be live here to break down some injuries for the 49ers and everything we got to talk about after a brutal loss from yesterday's game against the Packers. But first, a little 30-second countdown. What is going on, Niner fans? We are here. Still at the airport. I'm flying back to the Bay. Yesterday was a horrible loss to the Green Bay Packers, but somehow, some way, the 49ers still have a chance to win this division. The NFC West must be the most unserious division in the NFL. But hey, here we are, 5-6. The 49ers still alive in week 13. 18% chance, I believe, to make the playoffs. Playoffs? We talking about playoffs? You really think we can make playoffs? Before we talk about any of that, let's talk about these injuries today. Kyle Shanahan spoke with the media while I was on the airplane, mind you, with no Wi Fi, but we are here. We're going to talk all about it. Brock Purdy threw today. He had no issues. That is a huge update right there. He had no issues, no limitations, no setbacks in his shoulder today after throwing. According to Kyle Shanahan, that's big because the 49ers need Brock Purdy. He is the franchise. After Sunday's game, it's evident not anybody can run Kyle Shanahan's offense. It's not just the system. I think Kyle, everybody says you put any quarterback on there, you got the Avengers. It's the system quarterback. Blah 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 blah. Brock Purdy beat the system quarterback allegations. And I don't want to hear, oh yeah, Brendan Allen played okay. I know the receivers dropped passes. He did not look good. He did not look good. The O line was bad. I think Brock would have been able to break free, scramble on a few plays here and there, but that's besides the point. They did say, Kyle Shanahan did say that if Brock can't play Sunday, Brandon Allen will get the start on Sunday. So he's still QB2. He's in line to play Sunday if Brock Purdy can't play. But the good news is Brock Purdy through with no issues and he's trending in the right direction. Somebody else that's trending in the right direction is 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw. The big news of the day is that the 49ers are expecting to have him practice Wednesday, and they're opening up his practice designation to take him off the injured reserve. That is huge. Dre Greenlaw, we all know he's so important to this team. His ability to cover and play the defense on the D run is just incredible. He has been a missing piece to this defense. He's probably the reason why Fred Warner has been struggling over the last couple of weeks. So unfortunate we didn't have him. A big injury, but he will be back to practice this week. Hopefully he can play. Will he be the same Dre Greenlaw? Will he be the same explosive, sideline to sideline linebacker? Has to be determined. So we'll see. Um, my man David says anybody that the narrative that anyone can run the system is put to rest finally. Very true. I love to hear it. But yeah, great news for Dre Greenlaw. Should be back soon, hopefully, as long as his, Achilles and his calf and everything holds up. Now, John Lynch did mention a few weeks ago that when they do open up the window, he will be using most of that practice return window. So, don't know if he'll be back this week against Buffalo. I know the Niners absolutely need him. Devondre Campbell has been brutal, and Fred Warner has been trying to pick up the slack. They need him. They need Trey. I think that's why Fred has kind of fallen apart over the last couple of weeks. So we'll see if they can get Trey sooner rather than later. It also will determine, the rest of the season. If the 49ers lose to Buffalo, do you even take the risk of putting Dre Greenlaw back in the lineup? It's a tough question. He will be a free agent this offseason, so I'm sure he wants to kind of showcase, hey, I still have it, earn some more money. So it goes two ways. Does Dre want to play? Does he want to showcase that he's still got the juice? Does he want to ramp back up? Because I'm sure he wants to go out and play football. It's been a minute, but a lot of questions to be seen. It's just great to know that Trey Greenlaw will be back. A guy that won't be back, unfortunate news, John Feliciano will stay on the injured reserve. His knee just did not respond to treatments. It didn't get better. If you saw his Twitter, he pretty much looks like he might be retiring. He said, it was that, father time's catching up with him, and it's tough news for him. So it's rough for John Feliciano. The fact that he tried, they opened up his practice window. He went out every week, tried to practice, tried to get through it, and it didn't help. It didn't take. And now John Feliciano, unfortunately, will stay on the injured reserve, and this might be the end of his career. The 49ers definitely need offensive line help. Feliciano would have been nice to come in and help out, maybe play center, but unfortunate he won't. Jake Brendel absolutely needs to go, if you ask me. He's like the worst ranked center in the league. It's bad. He's like 40 of 40. That's crazy. He's a starting center, and he's just getting train wrecked out there. So it is unfortunate for the 49ers that John Feliciano will not be back this season. He may not be back ever again. He did tweet out, um, you know, kind of a hint. It sounds like he's pretty much retiring. If you remember early in the season, he did say it was his last ride. So it kind of seems like the writing is on the wall that John Feliciano will be gone. He'll be done with his career. So he said it was a hell of a ride, on his latest tweet. So I mean that tells me he's pretty much done. So unfortunate for him, and again unfortunate for the 49ers because now they have to continue to have Jake Brendel be their starting center. So he's really digressed this season. He's fell off. He wasn't horrible last year. He was a pretty serviceable center, and this year he's unserviceable. Any case, moving forward, Diamond Lenore will have an MRA. Sorry, an MRI. They're waiting his MRI results on his knee. Kyle Shanahan said that they're still kind of waiting to see what those results are. Also, Dominic Pooney had a shoulder issue, and they are awaiting MRI results for Dominic Pooney. Pooney had his worst game of his career. He's a rookie. He's played absolutely phenomenal. I think he'll be fine. Three holding penalties yesterday. Also, he allowed his first career sack yesterday against the Packers. They just dominated that O line, and Dominic Pooney had his worst game, and he now is pending an MRI on his shoulder. We'll see where it goes. Niners need him. He's been their bright spot on the offensive line, especially this week with Trent Williams out. He was their top O lineman, and the Packers just ran right through him because they didn't have anybody else to really help fortify that line. Trent makes a big difference. So, speaking of Trent Williams, ankle injury, he's going to be monitored every day. He's still, not 100%. They don't know if he has a chance to play this week, but they're going to continue to monitor him as they are with Nick Bosa. They're going to keep an eye on that situation. There's no guarantee that Nick Bosa or Trent Williams will be back this week, according to Kyle Shanahan. That's tough. You saw how bad the run defense was without Nick Bosa. We see how important Trent Williams is to this O line, and now we saw how important Nick Bosa was to this D line. A lot of people, was trashing Bosa through the year. I think if you really watch this game and in that final quarter of the Seattle Seahawks game, you really understand. Damn, Nick Bosa is good because they were running all over the Niners. Bosa can set the edge. He can do so much, and his presence. They need to have two or three guys to run to Bosa. All the chipping they do, everything. It's harder to run on the Niners when Bosa's in there. He just takes up so much attention, and you can see it, man. They just didn't have the ability to stop the run. I mean, Leonard Floyd had an okay game yesterday. Shout out to him, but it wasn't enough. And I think that Nick Bosa was, greatly missed. Hopefully he can come back this week. But again, last week after Seattle, he did say he was going to miss some time. He missed this week. We won't know if he's going to be back Sunday against the Bills, and we're going to have to keep an eye on these practices. So, yeah, Red Zone says an ankle monitor. We're going to be monitoring the ankle for Trent. We're going to be monitoring the oblique for Bosa. So, there's the major injuries. There's a couple minor ones. Jacob Cowing, he's in the concussion protocol. This one's probably more major than minor, but Aaron Banks, he's also in the concussion protocol. They're going to keep an eye on him this week. Renardo Green, he has a neck injury. He's day to day. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, he's dealing with some injuries. He's going to be day to day. And Kevin Givens has a groin injury. Of course, he's been injured all year, but there is a chance that he could come back to play and practice this week. So we'll see how it goes. Again, unfortunate news for the 49ers. A lot of injuries, just a lot of players banged up. That's par for the course in the NFL, but this week it just seems like there's a new one. This one, John Lenore sprouted up. Aaron Banks sprouted up. That's a tough one. And, Niners, they can't afford to lose these games. They can't afford to lose these players. But here we are. week 13, and we have another can't lose game against the Bills on the road. Tough one. Bills are one of the top teams in the AFC. They just beat the Chiefs, fresh off of that, and they're riding momentum off the bye. Josh Allen's looking like an MVP this year. Niners are underdogs for the second week in a row. I think they're a 6.5 point dog. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be expected. Everybody expects the Niners to just get crushed against the Bills, but you never know. Bosa come back. Brock Purdy comes back. I think they have a better chance of winning. Obviously, those two guys are greatly, greatly, greatly missed. Brock definitely, the what he can do with his legs. Just run the offense like a point guard. And Nick Bosa, man, you need him. You need him out there. That defense was nothing without him. So, yeah, tough news, tough breaks for the 49ers. Again, let's run right through them. John Feliciano shut down for the season. Need did not respond to treatment. He's out for the rest of the year on the IR. He might retire. Dre Greenlaw is back in practice this week. They're opening up his window. Fantastic news for him. Brock Purdy, he threw. No issues on the shoulder. He's trending in the right direction. However, if he cannot play on Sunday, Brandon Allen will get the start on Sunday against the Bills. Diallo Lenore, they're having an MRI on his knee this week. Dominic Pooney, they're also doing an MRI on him on his shoulder. Both of those guys are very important. Hopefully they can play. Jacob Cowing, concussion. Aaron Banks, concussion. Kevin Givens, groin, could play. We'll see. He's been injured pretty much the whole season. Bernardo Green, neck injury. He's day to day. And Demetrian Flanagan, fouls, is also day to day. A big round of injuries, but the 49ers hopefully can get Brock Purdy back. And also Trent Williams, again, he is also dealing with ankle injury. We'll see day to day on him and the coach. Those two guys are absolutely critical to the success of the 49ers, but he didn't need me to tell you that. Everybody knows how important those two guys are to the 49ers. So we'll see. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but that's pretty much the quick update as I'm here still in the airport waiting for my flight. Figured I'd drop a little update, talk about these injuries, and if you had any questions. Daniel Berry highlights says, "What's up?" Rob D says, "Return to play. Is it return to performance? The narrative that anyone can run the system is put to rest." Yep, that's right. Yeah, I think Rob's talking about return to practice. Is it return to performance? Um, yeah, my microphone is day to day. Yeah, it is. It's a sad year, says Zay. It is a sad year. It's been rough, man. 5-6. We should be at least at an we should be at least an 8-win team right now. Honestly, let's keep it a buck. We should have beat Seattle. He should have beat the Cardinals. And he should have beat the Rams. He should win those division games. The 49ers typically have been dominating those division games over the last couple of years, and that's why they were one of the top seeds in the NFC. Obviously, you got to win your division. If you win your division, you're in a good spot. You're going to make the playoffs. And I think last year they went undefeated in the NFC West, and I believe the year before they went undefeated in the NFC West, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 6 wins that we had each year. 6. All you gotta do is win maybe 4 more games, 5 more games, and you're locked into the playoffs. 49ers have won 1 game in the NFC West. Now imagine if they had all their wins, they'd have 4 wins total plus the other 5 wins, or sorry, the other 4 wins that weren't division games. You'd be a 8-win team, like I said. So Julius says, would Campbell be released or moved to third linebacker when Greenlaw comes back? It's a great question. I don't think they'll release him. I think they'll keep him because at this point in the season, there's no point in releasing him. You're not going to get anything from him. You can't really trade anybody. Maybe you keep him as the third linebacker. Although I think D Winters has been progressing solid, but he's more of a special teams guy to Kyle Shanahan. Plus, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles has been dealing with a little bit of an injury. So I think you keep Campbell because you need the depth. You don't want to just throw a guy out of there. I know he's not good, but I think you need the depth. And I think the 49ers will keep Devondre Campbell, much to most of your guys' chagrin. But also, you don't know 100% if Dre Greenlaw is going to be back to 100% form. Like, is he still going to be Dre Greenlaw? I hope he is. We all do. We all hope he's the same guy that he was when he left, before the injury. But you got to keep some depth in there just in case. So, good question. I don't think they'll cut him. I think every fan wants him to be cut, rightfully so. He's been really bad, but we'll see how it goes through the rest of the year. And I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. Buffalo's not gonna be an easy one, obviously. Packers game, the Niners still had a chance somehow, some way. They were alive at points in the game. Halftime could have been a lot worse. They came out of half. That 60-yard return called back on a hold was a backbreaker, man. That was a backbreaker. Just a lot of holding calls just killed them. And it's not just this game, it's been the whole year. Like these penalties throw them back, and then they got to fight against that. And then other teams, they get, benefit of these penalties the Niners have. They convert on third down. The Niners can't convert on third down. They can't convert in the red zone. They turn the ball over. They just have inopportune mistakes. They shoot themselves in the foot. And exactly the same thing happened yesterday that's been going all year. The fumble, the CMC fumble was huge. You threw a pick. Debo Samuel could have caught that, but ends up as an interception. So one thing after another continues to pile up. Special teams has been abysmal. Run defense was bad. You add all those things up, you're not winning a game, even though you had a chance to make it close. So yeah, the 49ers defense needs more depth, man. They get gassed up. You lose a player like Nick Bosa, and then look how you know uh, demoralized this defense is against the run. They just couldn't stop. Josh Jacobs had his way. Had his way. Yeah, Rob says, look at CMC. He returned to play, but he's not performing like CMC. My man says he's not expecting much from Greenlaw. I mean, Greenlaw's a beast, but you're right. You never know. He may not be the same. And CMC's definitely not playing up to his, caliber. I think a lot of it is he's still trying to get up to his top speed, his form. He's getting his sea legs under him. But at this point in the season, you need to have him already. And the blocking has been bad. I rewatched the game on 22 film, and those holes were not opening him up. And also, CMC just doesn't have that same juice. He's just not getting through those holes. And Kyle's calling some weird play. Just run up the gut. But why are you running him up the gut? Use Mason, use Garendo. Keep his legs fresh. Um, it is tough. It's frustrating to see. Zay says CMC's not, or Kyle's not taking accountability. He's not, but people don't want to admit it. Some people are going to defend Kyle to the end. And it's not that I'm a Kyle guy. I like Kyle. He's helped this team a lot, but at some point you got to look in the mirror and realize there's some issues. Get an OC, help yourself out. Mentally, you might be checked out, man. It's been tough these last couple of years, making it to the Super Bowl, making it to the NFC Championship. It's exhausting. I know it's tiring. It's tiring as fans. I know you guys are frustrated. I can't imagine the players in the team. Get some help out there. Get some help out there, Kyle. I don't know. Team's lost this year. They just need to recharge, get some rest, maybe a first round exit, maybe all that kind of stuff is going to be good for them. Maybe they'll recharge their batteries because I think they do need a recharge. It's been tough these last couple of years. I think it caught up with them. So Julius says, would it be better if CMC took more reps at slot, third running back? I mean, I don't know if he needs to be, third running back, but I think he needs to take less snaps. Use him in the pass game as a slot. They whatever the case is, they definitely need to use Jordan Mason more and Isaac Garendo more. I mean, it's evident. You saw that run. Jordan Mason came in, he had a 16-yard run, and then they never gave him the ball anymore after that. So that answers your question right there. Julius says, I know it's too early to talk off season, but if the Niners don't draft any offensive linemen in the first two rounds, come on, man. They got it. They have to at some point address that O line. Trent's not playing forever. He's 36. He misses games every year. So, yeah, I know what you meant, Julius. But regardless, Jordan Mason needs carries, man. We have a third down back, something like that. Just need to open up the playbook. Also, yesterday, that fact that they had that flea flicker, it was like the first time I saw some creativity in weeks. I was like, where's that been? Where's that been in the offense? I was like, okay, Kyle. And look what happened. They used a little trick play and it moved the ball down the field, and it was a big play. I just don't have, I just don't see the creativity in this offense anymore. So, Abel says, "Do I think this team has some life for the rest of the season? They're gonna fight, man. They're not gonna give up. Fight. They're gonna give it their all. You know, like Kittle. The guy has tremendous heart, man. He plays with a heavy heart. He's the captain of this team, obviously, and he's definitely the heart and soul of this team. You could tell, man. He's doing whatever he can, no matter what. In bad seasons, George Kittle always is the glimmering hope, and even in good seasons, George Kittle is always that guy. You're like, that's the constant. Like you remember the years we had C.J. Beathard and all these dog trash quarterbacks. See, George Kittle was out there putting up stats. He set records. He was setting records. It don't matter who the hell the quarterback is. George Kittle's gonna go out there and dog it up, man. And he did it last night. So there's gonna be some players that continue to fight, man, and give it their all. But there are gonna be some players that they might pack it in. I don't know. I kind of felt like Debo needs to step it up. I felt like I don't know if he packed it in, but got a little lazy, man. Debo, he went and told Moody to lock it up a couple weeks ago. Remember, he got in Tabor's face. I think Debo needs to lock it up, man. He needs to lock in because he was so bad last night, and it's not just been last night. The last couple of weeks, and you know, I'm a big Debo guy. Injuries have caught up to him. He doesn't have the same burst to him. He doesn't have the same juice to him. Um, I don't know, man. He's just not productive. He's talking a lot, and then at the end of the game, he don't want to talk to the media. Yeah, Debo, a little lazy. I think so, man. I think Moody needs to get him in check. And my man Julius says Debo was juiced after that second half kick return. I think that took all his energy. It took all his energy, you know. 2021 Debo wouldn't have been gassed. He ran a punt return or a kick return in that Green Bay game in Lambeau. He got the key play in what's it, third down play to help the 49ers, get that game winning field goal from Robbie Gold. I mean, Debo put that team on his back that whole year, 2021. This year, he ain't doing it, man. It's unfortunate. But fair criticism. Uh, should have talked to the media yesterday, and I said that last night. I mean, you're a captain, man. Kittle talked to the media. Fred Warner talked to the media. Fred Warner's been having a horrible last month and a half. It's been shitty, right? He's been playing bad. It's okay to say that, but obviously he's trying hard out there. He's trying to make up for Devondre Campbell's badass, you know. So, Fred, these guys are out there talking to the media. If you're a captain, it should be mandatory. So, yeah, Debo needs to get back into 19. That 19 was different, man. 19 problems. Definitely hits different. Cam's dad said it's floating out there that Brock will go on the injured reserve and probably not play this year. I hope not, man. I know today's report was good news that he's trending in the right direction and he did throw without irritation. But I mean, I definitely could see in a world where Brock does go on the injured reserve if he's not 100%, they shut him down. If he goes out and plays Sunday and aggravates his shoulder again, we'll see. It's not guaranteed that he's going to finish out the season. So it is something that's a possibility, especially if they lose this weekend. Maybe the Niners just say, screw it. Let's just finish out the year and not hurt any more players. You don't know. You don't know how it's going to end up. I hope Brock doesn't have to go on injured reserve. I hope he doesn't have any issues with that shoulder moving forward. Right now, again, good news today. So we'll see how the rest of this week goes. Practice on Wednesday is going to be very, very interesting. But, ladies and gentlemen, my flight is about to board in about 15, 20 minutes. So I probably should end this live so I don't miss my flight home. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the Monday Night Football game. I'll be watching in the comforts of my phone on the Wi-Fi as long as it's provided for me. If not, Delta's getting a email from me because I am a Sky Miles member. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your night. Appreciate you. I'll probably be live tonight if I have some time. If not, see y'all tomorrow. And let me see. I got one more question. Thoughts on Ricky Persall? Okay, let me hit that question before I go, because that is a good question. I like Ricky. I think he's got some talent. We've seen him produce. He's went through a lot of adversity, but if you got a first round receiver, you need to use him. And I like Ricky. It's not anything against him, but the fact they're not using your number one draft pick is crazy to me. You could have drafted an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, because you need those guys. You could have drafted a safety, a top tier player and safety. First round pick. You had a first round receiver. You're not even throwing him the ball. That's crazy to me. I think if he's supposed to be a big part of your team moving forward, get him the ball. Try to find out ways to get him the ball. You're having him return punts and kicks. You spent a first round draft pick on him. I think you need to use him a little bit more. I like Ricky. I think he has talent, but I hope it doesn't end up being a waste of a pick because Niners needed other positions. Um, I know they needed. I know he's a good player. It would have been great if he was on the team, but again, going into the draft, it was like, whoa, I was shocked they got a receiver because you had great receivers. Now we've had some issues, but you're not even targeting him. You're targeting Conley. This guy was your big draft pick. You're not even targeting him. So, but he has talent. He has abilities. We've seen it. We've seen it. The touchdown he had, like, I was amazing. The game where he went 4 for 4, right? 4 targets, 4 catches. He's had some really nice moments this year. Give him the ball. He was your first round pick. I like Conley. I do, but I need to see them targeting your top five receiver who's fast and young. Get him the ball. Throw him the damn ball. Throw him the damn ball. Debo's not doing anything, so try to give your rookie a little bit of, some action. So that's my take on it. I think they need to utilize this guy more. He was a first round pick. Use him. First round pick, man. Don't waste him. Anyways, that is it for tonight. I'll be back later. Gonna miss this flight, but I love talking to you. Y'all have a good one.